Getting rid of a lipedema takes time. Weeks after the operation on the legs, the time has now come for the arms. For Silke, anything but routine. That was clear days ago. Funny enough, I've got cold feet now. I'm really scared of it. I don't even know why, because it wasn't bad exactly, but I've got this feeling. I know I've got another half ahead of me, and now it's like standing in front of this huge mountain, and I've got to get up it first before I can get down the other side. A lot of people know that feeling. That becomes quite clear when we meet up with Kerstin again. The young woman's arms will also be operated on today, and she feels exactly like Silke. I must say that although I know what to expect, I'm actually more nervous and jittery now. Of course, I'll go through with it, but I'd rather not have come, I must admit. But she did come, and has brought good news. I don't have this pressure anymore in my legs. Admittedly, there is still water there, but there is no longer this painful pressure. So I must say it all feels somewhat lighter. And soon it'll feel even lighter for Kerstin as well as for Silke, who has already had the tumescent solution introduced and who is ready for her operation after 2 hours of preparation. Let's look over Dr. Manuel Cornely's shoulder once again. During this intervention, he'll make sure of, first of all, of symmetry, of course, so that the upper parts of the arms don't look like sleeves, so you can't drain too much off. That is what lipological liposculpture is. It's not about quantity, but rather about creating a balance so that the lymphatic vessels can function properly afterwards, which should also be the case in the arms, and of course all over. So we're talking about from the shoulder down to the wrist, and then on the back of the hand, around the link between the forearm and the hand. We're going to treat all of that today. Well, that is quite a job, but all in all, a lot quicker to do, because of course it's less than the total amount. After the operation, it's back to the lymphatic drainage and compression bandages, and now comes the time which is to prove the worst for Silke since she started her operative treatment. Via video diary, she once again records her impressions on the days after the operation. For instance, restrictions due to the bandages. What frustrated me was that tiny movements like putting a hair clip in your hair, brushing teeth, holding the toothbrush. I had the feeling I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't even raise my arms. But instead of taking time to rest, Silke once again puts herself under too much pressure. In no way does she want to neglect her work, and on top of that, she's got to fit in her regular lymphatic drainage. I have to have the appointments during my lunch break or before work, keeping in mind the opening hours of the doctor's surgery and when it closes. The time to get there, undressing and dressing again, 1 hour's treatment, that's 2 hours easily gone by. Silke is on the go all the time in order to tend to everything, and that only after 2 operations. She pays dearly for it all. Exhaustion is near. I think you only notice it when you've rested for a time, that you're actually quite worn out and that it has taken all out of you. And I feel it psychologically as well at the moment, that I'm at the end and that I could blow my top or cry. The 8th day after the operation, I can't imagine at all that everything would be okay. And somehow you got the feeling at the moment that maybe you've made everything much worse than before, because I got used to the way things were, but now? Doubts. Here they come. Improvements are slow in coming. Dr. Cornely stressed the painful concomitants already during the first consultation. The side effects for you will be the blood effusions. There's no doubt about that, and that may be pretty unpleasant, and you'll most certainly feel your muscles ache. That too is pretty unpleasant. But even if Silke had known what she had let herself in for, she's got to show patience during her recovery. She gets psychological support from her doctor, family and friends. One thing is clear, there's no way back now. She's got to go on. What I hope from the 3rd operation is really that I tell myself that at the moment my legs are swollen and I feel the swelling in the evening because only half of me is operated on and that the liquid is still in the other half. But I also ask myself whether everything so far is healed and is as okay as it should be, because the talk was always of 6 to 8 weeks. That's how long it has been now. Silke is aware that she's putting herself under pressure with her expectations. I think that this figure of 6 to 8 weeks gets stuck in your mind because that was what you were told. I also know that it can't be over as quickly as all that. I think you just become impatient. But Silke does not give up. In order to get a grip on her impatience, she gets an idea which makes her optimism return. I like the small doors of an advent calendar. Every day you tear one off for that particular day. I need to see that the weeks go by, and then for some reason everything becomes so much easier. The last few weeks have sped by. I haven't even had time to think about it, and it'll go on like that. After the next operation, I'll be facing another big mountain and think that I'll never be able to scale it, but once you start, it'll be over pretty quickly.